Hi there, and welcome to Ben's Voice Narrative. In this class, we want to examine 20 practical daily conversational exchanges that you need to master in order to make your daily interactions go or flow smoothly. So, we'll be examining 20 phrases or sentences that you most likely use every day. Now, the intention or the idea behind this class is such that you have a prepared template of answers every time you have similar questions being thrown at you, whether at the place of work or within the house. Of course, I understand that these 20 of course, I understand that these 20 expressions will not accommodate all of your daily experiences. So, what I'm going to do is that in subsequent videos, I'll be explaining daily conversations that you need at your places of work or within the home. Now, for this class, we have three pictures of people to look at. The first will be a conversation that flows between or amongst colleagues at the place of work. The second category will be a conversation that stems from parents or from children to parents within the house. And finally, we'll be talking about exchanges between or amongst friends. Okay, that said, let's dive right into the class. So, the first conversation is opening with good morning. How are you? Now, if this was a statement that is directed to a worker or directed at a worker, the response could be something like, good morning, I'm doing well, thanks. Or good morning, I'm doing well, thank you. Just getting started on today's tasks. Now, if this conversation is between a child and his mother, or a child and her mother, or a child and their mother, and say that the mother says to the child, good morning, how are you? And you expect the child to say something like, good morning, mom. You expect the child to say, mom, good morning. I'm excited for school today. That's if the child actually wants to go to school on the day this conversation is taking place. So now let's talk about this line of conversation happening between friends. And you have something like, good morning, how are you? Now, the person responding to this cue, the respondent, now you respect respondent, that is the person responding to this cue to say something like, hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. I'm feeling great. Just need some coffee. That's if the person needs some coffee. So let's go to the second line of exchange. What's the plan for today? What's the plan today? Again, remember that every line of conversation has three categories of people want to look at. The first is an exchange between or among colleagues at the place of work. The next is from parents to children and from the children to parents. And finally, between or amongst. I just needed to mention that again so I don't keep repeating this in the course of the video. So let's get back to it. Now, the second line of conversation is, what's the plan for today? What's the plan for today? Now, if this were a conversation happening at a workplace, you can respond by saying, I have a meeting at 2 p.m. to discuss the project. I have a meeting at 2 p.m. to discuss the project. Now, if this was a conversation between a child and the mother, you can have something like, Mom, I have math test today. Mom, I have math test today. Can you revise with me? Now, if this was between friends, you can have something like, you can respond. Now, if it was a friend that was saying this to you, you can respond by saying, I'm thinking of hitting the gym later. You want to join me? Do you want to join me? I'm thinking of hitting the gym later. Do you want to join me? 3. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? I understand that this is an expression or a line of conversation that happens or that takes place a lot of time. How was your weekend? For co-workers, you can have something like, it was busy. That is, my weekend was busy. It was busy. I got caught up on some work projects. How about you? So it's still the same person who is asking. So when you say, it was busy, I got caught up on some work projects, then you go ahead to say, how about you? You go ahead to ask. The person who had initiated the conversation, you respond. You ask the other person. So when you say, it was busy, I was caught up on some work projects, then you go ahead to say, to ask, how about you? How about you? My weekend was busy. I got caught up on some work projects. How about you? So let's look at this between a child and a parent. The child could say, I went to grandma's house and played with my cousins. I went to my grandma's house and played with my cousins. Now, this conversation between friends. How was the weekend? I went on a hike and enjoyed the outdoors. What about you? It's actually very important that when somebody asks you about how your weekend went or how your day went or how your night went, that you also respond by asking them how theirs went or how the day or theirs is going or how theirs is panning out. So that is how it works. Don't just be a receiver or a recipient. Also try to exchange the hands of friendship. And this in language is called factic relationship or factive function of English. So let's continue with the conversation. So let's go to the fourth conversation. Now, imagine the conversation proceeds to something like, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? If this was a conversation between or amongst colleagues at a place of work, you could have something like, I'm thinking of grabbing a sandwich from the cafe downstairs. I'm thinking of grabbing a sandwich from the cafe downstairs. Now, the word sandwich is pronounced sandwich by British speakers. But if you're an American speaker or you speak American English, you can say sandwich. So the response again, I'm thinking of grabbing a sandwich from the cafe downstairs. Now, if this conversation was flowing between parents and children, you could have something like, Mom, can I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, please? If this was to happen between friends, you could have something like, I want to grab lunch at the new restaurant. You want to come with me? I've been meaning to try it. 5. Can you pass the salt? If this was as a worker, you can say something like, here we go, just passing the salt. Child to parent, Mom, can you please pass the salt? Mom, can you pass the salt, please? Salt, please. This food needs some flavor. Now, if somebody asks you to pass the salt or asks you to please pass the salt, now you can reply while you pick the salt in your hand or the container or the salt container in your hand. You simply say, salt, please. What that means is, have the salt, please. Salt, please. This food needs some flavor. Okay. So, number 6, can you help me with this task? Can you help me with this task? Somebody speaks to you this way at a place of work, within the home. What are you going to say? Now, colleagues, of course, what specific part do you need help with? What specific part do you need help with? Child to parent. Mom, can you help me with my homework? Mom, can you help me with my homework? I'm stuck. Mom, can you help me with my homework? I'm stuck. Now, friends, as a friend, if you have this sort of question, can you help me with this task? You might probably reply by saying, yeah. Yeah, that is yes. I can lend a hand. What do you need? 7. Do you know where? Do you know where? Do you know where? Now, this type of question often comes from people or from someone who does not know a particular place where something is to happen. So in this case, as a person begins to say, do you know where? So if this was coming from a worker, what you're going to say could be, yes, the conference room is on the 3rd floor. That is, the question is, do you know where? Then you reply by saying, yes, the conference room is on the 3rd floor. That is, if you imagine or you calculate ahead of time that what or the place that this person is asking for is a conference room, then you say, the conference room is on the 3rd floor. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. The conference room is on the 3rd floor. Child to parent, let's assume that it's a mother that is asking this question, that's posing this question, and she says, do you know where? The child will reply by saying, Mom, you mean, where's my favorite book? You mean, where's my friend? Or you mean, where's dad? You understand? So the line of response here is open-ended in that the child could say, Mom, you mean, where's my favorite book? Then she goes further to say, I think I left it in the living room. Now, friends, I think the party is downtown. Let me check the invite. Do you know where? Now, the response can be, I think the party is downtown. Let me check the invite. 8. How's your day going? Worker, It's been productive so far. Just checking. Child to parent. It's going well, mom. I learned something new in school. Now remember, the past tense of the word learn is learned for British speakers, for British English speakers, and learned for American English speakers. Okay, so you can say, so a child to parent can say, it's going well, mom, it's going well, dad. I learned something new in school today. Friends. A friend could say something like, it's been good, just catching up on some work. What about you? 9. Nice weather today, isn't it? Workers? Yes, it's great to see the sun after a rainy week. Yes, it's great to see the sun after a rainy week. Child to parent. Can we play outside, mom? Mom, can we play outside? Why? Because the weather is actually very favorable. It's nice. So can we play outside? Because it's sunny. Friends, definitely, that is definitely is a nice day. It's a perfect day for a walk or a hike. 10. Did you watch the game last night? Did you watch the game last night, worker? No, I didn't get a chance. How was it? Child to parent. Dad, who won the game? I want to know. Friends. Yeah, I watched it. What a thrilling match. What a thrilling match. 11. How was your day? Worker. It was good. Just a lot of meetings. Child to parent. I had a great day at school, mom. Friends. It was good. I got caught up on some work and relaxed. 12. What time is dinner? What time is dinner? Now imagine this is coming from a worker to another. Dinner is at 7 p.m. Let's finalize the plans. Now, this should be a response that shows that you still have maybe a few hours to dinner, so you have time to plan on what to eat and how to go about it. Now, child to parent. Mom, when's dinner? That is, when is dinner? I'm starving. I'm starving already. Friends, we are eating at 8 p.m. You want to meet at the restaurant? 13. I'm heading to bed. Good night. I'm heading to bed. Good night. Worker, good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Child to parent. Night, mom. Good night, mom. Night. I love you. Friends. Night. Talk to you tomorrow. Might want to say good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Talk to you tomorrow. 14. What time do you wake up tomorrow? What time do you wake up tomorrow? Worker, I have an early meeting, so 6 a.m. What that means is, I do have a meeting tomorrow morning. I have a meeting early tomorrow morning, so I'll be waking up by 6 a.m. or I'll be waking up at 6 a.m. Why? Because he has or she has an early meeting. Child to parent. Mom, can I sleep in a bit tomorrow? It's Saturday. Now, this could be a conversation that is taking place on Friday night or much earlier in the day. So you and the mom asked, what time do you wake up tomorrow? The child can say something like, Mom, can I sleep in a bit tomorrow? It's Saturday. Friends, I'm planning to hit the gym early, around 7 a.m. I'm planning to hit the gym early, so I'll wake up around 7. What that means is, I'll be waking up around 7 a.m. tomorrow because I plan to hit the gym early. 15. How was your trip? If somebody asks you, how was your trip? As a worker, you might want to say something like, it was productive. I met some great clients. Child to parent. Mother is asking you, how was your trip? You can say something like, I had so much fun at grandma's house. I had so much fun at grandma's house. Friends, you can say something like, the trip was amazing. The scenery was breathtaking. The scenery was breathtaking. 16. What did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday? Somebody asked you, what did you do yesterday? As a worker, you might want to say, I worked on the project and attended to a few things. Child to parent, your mom asks you, what did you do yesterday? You might want to say something like, I played with my friends in the park. I played with my friends in the park. Friends, you can say something like, I went to the movies and saw a great film. I went to the movies and saw a great film. 17. Did you finish the project? Did you finish the project? As a worker, you might want to say something like yes or no. Yes, I submitted it last week. Fingers crossed for a good review. Child to parent. Did you finish the project? Yes, I finished my homework, mom. Friends. Yeah, I finally finished it last night. I finally finished it last night. What a relief. 18. Do you have plans for the weekend? Do you have plans for the weekend? Worker. I'm planning to catch up on some work and maybe go out with friends on Saturday. Child to parent. Do you have plans for the weekend? Yeah, I'm going to my friend's birthday party. Friend. I'm thinking of going to the beach. You want to join me? 19. And ultimately, when are you free to meet? When are you free to meet? Colleague. How about tomorrow afternoon? How about tomorrow afternoon? I have a break between meetings. I have a break between meetings. That is, yeah, we can meet tomorrow afternoon because I do have break between a meeting or between meetings, right? Child to parent. Mom, can we play together after school? When the mom says, or when the mom asks, do you have plans for the weekend? Then you can say something like, Mom, can we play together after school? Or you say, yes, Mom, I plan to play with my friends after school. Or Mom, can I play with you? Can we play together after school? Now, friends, if your friend asks you, when are you free to meet? You can say something like, I'm free this weekend. Let's plan something. I'm free this weekend. Let's plan something. Finally, what's the plan for tomorrow? What's the plan for tomorrow? As a worker, if somebody asks you what's the plan for tomorrow, you might want to say, I have a team meeting in the morning and then some other project. If this is coming from your parent to you as a child, you might want to say something like, I have school and then I'm going to my friend's house to play. What's the plan for tomorrow? I have school and then I'm going to my friend's house to play. Friends, you might want to say something like, you might want to respond by saying, I'm thinking of trying out that new restaurant. Do you want to join me for lunch? Friends, I'm thinking of trying out the new restaurant. Do you want to join me for lunch? And with that, we've come to the end of this episode. I believe you've learned or gained or picked something really interesting away from today's episode. If you have any question regarding today's teaching, kindly go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. And if you have a suggestion on a concept that you think I can speak on, kindly also let me know in the comment. I'll be really delighted to attend to your queries. Thanks again for watching. Keep practicing and watch your English improve on the dailies. Thank you and bye for now.